This is a short video on
The point system.
for the class, and it's very different from other grading systems, so you'll need to get this early on, but I think you'll like it once you understand some of the principles, and they are one, that you should be able to choose what assignments you do this semester. There'll be a few requirements, but overall you get to decide. There's also built-in extra credit. Essentially, you'll be building your grade throughout the semester, and so won't have need of extra credit. And then really what underlies everything is low stakes failure, and I'll be discussing that in the video. A basic explanation of the point system can be found in D2L. If you click on syllabus and then grading, you'll get that explanation here, and this video is just going into a bit more detail. But basically, the point system looks very similar to a 100-point scale. 650 points, if you get below that, you get an F, similar to if you get below a 65 in a regular class, you get an F. That's similar up until the top. You're going to have to do a bit more to get the A+. So you have to get 1100 and up to get the A+. But basically, you're going to build points throughout the semester by working on assignments, and you can watch as your grade goes up. To look at the types of things that you'll be doing to build up your points, you would click on Types of Assignments. Types of assignments, you'll see a list of everything that you can do in the course and the point values associated with it. Discussions are going to be something that you're doing throughout the semester, and you have to do a certain amount of this. If you don't, it will count against you. Then there's quizzes. You don't have to do these. They're not going to function like regular quizzes. It's more to build knowledge instead of testing knowledge. We'll talk more about that, and I'll create a video. And then you'll have larger assignments that you do midway and then near to the end of the semester. Some more traditional assignments like a bibliography, research paper, and final exam, and then other types of assignments, some technology-based, some not, and you should take a look at these. One way to get a sense of particularly these projects, but examples of all the projects, can be found at my WordPress site. I sent you the link before, and I'll send it again, and some are going to be on D2L. But basically, there's a whole bunch of really strong student projects, all kinds of different examples that you can find on that WordPress site, and I'll be expecting you to look at those to be thinking about what you want to do this semester. We're at the beginning of the semester, so you need to be thinking about how you're going to build your grade out of the assignments that we have. You can change your mind as we go, but you should be thinking of this. And so I'm going to show you a few examples. One way to go might be a traditional approach, which is a great way to go. Let's say you plan on doing 400 points in discussion. You can do more than that. You have to have at least 300, but let's just call it 400. You do an annotated bibliography for 150, a research paper for 300, and you take the final for 150 points, totaling to 1,000 points, which would give you the A. Another approach would be an online approach. Let's keep it at 400 for discussion. Let's say you do a book recommendation for 150, you create a Tumblr page for 150, and you make a comic book for 150, and create some sort of video for 150. And that would total out once again to 1,000 points, giving you the A. Or of course you can mix up between the traditional and non-traditional, and keeping discussion at 400. Let's say you create a Tumblr for 150, a research paper for 300, a lesson plan for 150, giving you again a total of 1,000 points, or an A. But keep in mind, these are all plans. It's unlikely that you're going to get exactly the score, the perfect score for each of the assignments that you do. So let's look at a possible actual scenario. Let's say you do the 400 points. As long as you do it, you get the discussion points. But let's say you get 120 out of 150 for a Tumblr. You get a 240 out of 300 for the research paper, and 130 out of 150 for the lesson plan. All those aren't bad grades for any of those projects, but that would bring your total down to a B+, or an 890. So you should think about this from early on, that you need to build in the possibility that the actual score isn't going to be a perfect score. That's highly unlikely that you would get that on everything. But that does not mean you have to have the B+. you could decide, okay, I'm going to do an extra lesson plan. And so you turn that in, you get 140 out of 150, and that would give you 1030 for the A. And of course, you could do more discussion, you could do another project, whatever you want to do, and you could move up to an A plus. And so you can build in protection by doing more discussion, doing an extra project, whatever you want to do. Overall, you're going to have a lot of choice in the assignments that you do, and so you should be thinking about what you want to do throughout the semester already. And that, of course, can change. But there are a few caveats that you need to know about, and so a few things that you need to do or it will count against you. That will be you need to participate in online discussions, you need to be in class, and you need to be there for your conference times. You need to get the drafts in on time, and you need to turn work in on time, the final drafts. So online discussions, this is the most important thing to keep in mind. You need to be doing these throughout the semester. Don't get behind. You need to be building those points in online discussions. You have to get at least 300 points. Anything less than that will count against you. So let's say you only did 200 discussion points and you were under 100, and you got a total amount of 920, so you should have an A minus, but because you were under that 100, I'm going to take 100 points off, giving you a final score of 820 or a B minus. A more ludicrous example, let's say you didn't do any discussions, and so you're 300 points under. Let's say you did all the projects and you just got tons of points and you've got an A plus. However, I'm going to take off the 300 points because you didn't do the discussion, and it's not off that 1400, it's off of that beginning A plus level, so from 1100. So while you should have an A plus, that would drop you down to 800 to a B minus. Attendance is also important. This is a hybrid course. We're not meeting as much as a regular course, and so if you miss class, it will count against you. After 2 absences, I'm going to start taking 10 points off of your grade. And then conferences and due dates, you're going to be having a conference with me and 2 with writing consultants. And you're going to have some drafts that are due, and the final drafts of papers or projects due. And if you don't get those in on time, each of those will count 10 points off as well.